We need to talk about Garden Witch Life, a new game that just launched yesterday on Steam and consoles. So it's on Nintendo Switch and Xbox and PlayStation Home, all of those places, which is great. It fully released, which is also great because a lot of games have been releasing in early access. But is it worth buying? That is the question. Garden Witch Life is $19.99 on Steam and $29.99 on consoles. And first impressions are really, really important, especially for someone like me who is a content creator. I'm playing cozy games and I'm playing a lot of them because there are a lot of them. And I'm playing them to make reviews. So if a game isn't the best, I might not give it as much time. I might never talk about it. I might talk about it. If I don't feel hooked, it might not get a lot of my attention. But I'm trying to be better with that. And with Garden Witch Life, I played 4 hours of it. I felt like I still wasn't really sure what this gameplay was. I wasn't getting much out of the game. So I thought, why don't I keep playing it? Why don't I see if it can redeem itself? Maybe there are some things I didn't unlock yet, places I didn't get to. So that's what I did. I did another stream of it, about 4 hours again. And so I've played this game for about 7 hours in total. I played the game through Steam, so I don't have a Switch experience or console experience. And this game was kindly gifted to me by the developer and publisher. Garden Witch Life starts out really promising. There's this storyline that introduces how you've been laid off from your job and that you're feeling down. And then May, this cactus person, takes a chance on you and lets you take over a farm in town. So you're new in town and, really cute. It's adorable how it starts out. Then as you get into the gameplay, you get a few starting quests and they show you how to cook. It lets you meet all the NPCs. It shows you how the shipping bin works and stuff like that. Visually, this game is cute. The character customization is pretty fun, the NPCs are definitely unique, and the graphics are pretty nice as well. I did stream my gameplay of this, and if there weren't game testers in the chat, I feel like I would have been pretty confused about a lot of things. There are a lot of things I would never have understood or got on my own. They explained how you need to lay out the compost multiple times to heal the cracked land, and eventually it will be green or something. They explained how to repair the soil of your farm, basically. They also told me that there are 3 areas around the farm that you can explore. Maybe I would have figured that out on my own eventually, but not as soon as I did with them making me aware of it. They also explained that this game is meant to be relaxed and chill and slow, and that the story is heartwarming and will open up later. But even with that and with a slow gameplay, I still need something to do. I need to know what to do. Is there anything to do? I was just kind of coming up with my own stuff to do based on what I could see in the world, and I think that's the point, but it just wasn't working out for me. For example, the money. It took me way too long to figure it out. I wanted to upgrade to the silver tools because then I could explore more areas around my farm. So this is a goal I made for myself because I wasn't giving any quests after the tutorial. And eventually I wanted to go mining as well, so upgrading that tool would be helpful. I was selling my crops and I was getting like 3 coins per crop. So that's not very much when I need 1,600 coins to buy or upgrade my pickaxe. So it took me way too long to stop using the community bin, which was recommended in the tutorial, and to instead use the Magi bin, I think it's called, and to just sell all the crystal wheat ears because each one is 1 coin, and I had like so many of them, so I had 99 bunches of like 5 of them, so I got 500 coins easily, and then I eventually got to the 1,000. And I don't feel like that's the ideal way to be making the money in the game, but it's what worked for me eventually. Now, a game tester in my chat did say that the game devs are working on balancing out the money more, and so that it's easier to make money maybe, or maybe the prices are higher or lower, hopefully lower. But unfortunately, for a game that has already launched and it's in full launch, it's not in an early access launch, I personally feel like something as important as the money system should already be balanced. I feel like that should have been thought about before it launched. Game testers, if they gave any feedback about that, then that should have been taken into account. I don't know what happened there. I'm very confused why that's only being fixed now. I'm not against updating a game after it's been out, but I feel like something as big as that, if that had been done well, my first impression could have been completely different. But I don't think it would have been enough to save this game for me. And I'm saying this in support of the game developers as well, because it sucks. It sucks for your game if a lot of people have a bad first impression of it. And then like a couple days later, a week later, maybe months later, this game has so many updates that make the game so much better. Well, too bad, because a lot of people are already all out, or they're not going to check if the game got updated. They're already out. They dropped the game and they lost interest. We know this happens a lot as cozy gamers. We see this. I see this a lot, that a game just doesn't stick, and after a few months the hype is gone and people don't really go back to it. Creators aren't talking about it anymore. So your first impression of your game is so important. And so I do truly feel bad that is my first impression and it's not a great impression. And I'm just trying to be honest. I'm not trying to be harsh or mean or say that this game is absolute trash. I think there was a lot of heart put into it. I think that's clear. I think you can see that through other things in the game that I will talk about. I also think that if this game was in early access, I would have been more willing to wait for updates and to continue checking out the game. But because it's not in early access and it's a full launch, I'm not as open to that typically. The thing that struck me the most though with this game is the pacing. It's personally way too slow for me, and after the tutorial quests end, it's extremely slow and a little bit boring, and other than waking up, watering my plants, struggling to make any money, I was either fainting midday and waking up the next day with half my energy, which is a whole other issue, or I was going to bed anyways because I wanted to see if I could make money from that community bin. A lot of the tutorials also don't pop up on the screen, and that's not very helpful. They are in the menu, but you have to go dig for them, and you can read more information, but sometimes even the information there wasn't enough for me to understand what's going on. One of the things in this tutorial describes all of the different bar meters on your screen. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them. You have mana, stamina, health, hunger, and fatigue. So 5 of them on your screen. Mana doesn't really matter that much in the beginning. Stamina is pretty stable for me. Health, I don't even know how my health was going down at one point. I don't know what happened. Hunger like helps to fill up your stamina back up slowly, so that's kind of cool, but I wasn't taking advantage of that very much because I didn't need to. And then fatigue is the one that you really have to watch, but with it all being said, there's just too many of them. But yeah, like I said, the one you have to worry about the most is fatigue. The fatigue bar is confusing because the fatigue bar is the one that you do not want to be full, where all the other bars you do want them to be full. So I think they should have just had it be full and going down, because the other ones, it's a good thing for them to be full, and this one, it's a bad thing for it to be full for the fatigue bars. That was just really confusing for me. I kept mixing it up and being like, oh, I fainted. I thought I was full stamina, but like you don't want it to be full. Apparently you can upgrade the stamina bar later to avoid fainting, and when you do faint, you get pushed into the next day. But I didn't get to that. I'm not sure how to upgrade that. It wasn't explained. The map is not the best map, but it's not the worst. Sometimes I noticed it did double the NPC locations. Didn't bother me too much, but that probably shouldn't be happening. I didn't feel like I really needed the map though, because the world is easy enough to navigate after you play a couple days. You don't really need to look at the map unless you're looking for an NPC. One thing that I was really impressed with in this game was the cooking. The chopping on the cutting board is very fun. It's really satisfying. I like it. I did play with keyboard and mouse, so I'm not sure how it worked on controller. I love the way that the cauldron recipes have a recipe that you need to follow. You need to add the ingredients in a certain order. You need to stir in between some ingredients. That's so cool and super fun, and I love that. I love that so much. And I think that they should have really capitalized on this more in their game. And maybe they do later, but I'm not gonna know. A lot of cooking or baking games don't even have this great of a cooking mechanic. So I thought this was an awesome system that they have with that. So that was very well done for sure. I honestly didn't get to use it a lot because I didn't have the ingredients or I didn't have a reason to really make it. I think I would have had more reason to make it if I had the ingredients, I would have made more things to sell, but I didn't have the ingredients for everything. The exploration is pretty nice. You can see that the devs put a lot of work into the environments that you can explore. There's even some platforming elements. As you get farther into the woods, I was having to jump on these lily pads to kind of get around and navigate. There are a lot of fun chests that you can find, treasure chests, and they often have adorable decor items in there or crafting recipes that you can make. Like there was a cute bear wardrobe I really wanted to make, and sometimes you would even get coins from these chests. I really love the decor items. I think that's really fun and something that maybe should be more accessible from the beginning of the game, because they are super cute. It's really, really easy to place items down. I like that there's no grid to place the items down, but I also feel like it might be helpful if there was an option to snap the item into a spot or to use a grid, kind of like Critter Cove has that. You can place it wherever you want, or you can use a grid. I think that's always nice. They also need to have something for putting fences down. It would have been nice if you could just be like with your fences, but you have to place each one very strategically and make sure that you're aligning them right, because they don't like click together. Maybe if they clicked together, that would even be better, but they don't. The crafting is very easy. I don't have much to say about it. It's just one click of a button. If you have the ingredient, you can make it, and I like that. The farming is definitely unique, just like the putting down decor items. The farming, you can farm anywhere. You don't have to hoe the ground. You don't have a certain little square that you plant stuff in. You can just bop it down wherever you want. You plant the seeds wherever you want, anywhere on your farm. And you will also get this magnifying glass from a little ghost, and you'll use this to get an idea of what your crops need. They might need water, they might need fertilizer. You can kind of see that on the menu. You can see how many more days until it's fully grown, and so that's pretty cool. For a game that's titled Garden Witch Life, I didn't get to any of the magic yet, besides having a cauldron that you actually make cooking recipes in. I've just gotten to the second season in the game, so I'm in summer, and I haven't really experienced any magic. I'm being nice by saying really. So I'm sure that will come later, because there is a bar on the top of the screen that has that, but I personally would have liked if it was hinted at more, maybe provided more information about the becoming a witch, or like honing your skills as a witch or something, if you're gonna call it Garden Witch Life. There just needs to be more information provided about that. I need more quests in this game in general. Something I like about the new game Critter Cove that's in early access is that there are a lot of quests. There's so many quests, and the game does the questing really well. These quests act as reminders, but they also give you an idea of, okay, what can I work on next? And you have this openness with it of, it doesn't feel like a chore, it feels like a choice. So I feel like Garden Witch Life could really, really benefit from having something like that. I think Garden Witch Life would benefit from having a bulletin board system with requests from the NPCs, and then you go and bring them a recipe, and maybe you get money, or maybe get an item you need for crafting, or maybe unlock a new decor item. I think they really need that at the start of the game. I don't know if that comes later. If they don't do a bulletin board, maybe having, the mail, get more requests by the mail in this game. I think that would be a good idea. But overall, in my 7 hours of gameplay, I didn't feel like the elements of this game mesh well together. The mechanics in the cooking, crafting, customization, decorating, and farming, they're pretty solid. They're nice. they're nice, they're not bad, but the overall pacing of this game is too slow. Like way too slow. The pricing of the upgrades need to be lowered, or the money needs to be easier to make early on. There needs to be more quests or more guidance on what to work on. There needs to be a greater sense of reward for playing this game, and I think the quests would help with that. The exploration is cool. I do like finding the chest. The NPCs, they are unique, but I don't feel like there's much of a reason to talk to anyone other than the capybara at the general store or Tin, who does the upgrading of the tools where you buy tools. I also heard that Switch players were having trouble with this game and how it's been running on there, and I did hear a friend talk about how even on Steam Deck this game was struggling to launch. It's not easy to give a bad review of a game, but I do feel like I needed to get my thoughts out there to tell other people that before you buy this one, maybe wait for a sale, maybe wait for more reviews to come out, maybe this game will get updates, but right now I feel like it's just a bit too slow for me, not enough to do. This game isn't totally bad. I hope it does get updates, but like I said, first impressions are so important. Thank you for listening to my thoughts. Feel free to let me know yours, and hopefully I'll see you in my next YouTube video. Bye!